Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the middleweight bout between Armen Petrosyan versus AJ Dobson. And how I see this one is I'm gonna go average confidence, Armen Petrosyan. And I see this one right here is I feel like Dobson's gonna play into Armen Petrosyan's game. And yes, Dobson has a very, very good puncher's chance. And Malcolm can be a fighter that's deceiving. It's a lot of deception in this fight. I was really kind of on the fence and like with it, but ultimately got to lean Armen Petrosyan, especially given the competition Armen Petrosyan has fought, and got a split decision over Gregory Rodriguez. Even though Gregory Rodriguez didn't really fight the smart fight, kind of try to strike with him mostly, and that caused him to get behind instead of initially going grappling. Then you got Kyle Barajo, who really just dominated him for the most part, but he did make him work kind of in the sort of Kyle Barajo wasn't like no spring chicken at anything. He was fatigued and tired, exhausted. It was like no easy work. So hey, that's something to look at. But I think deception comes in with AJ Dobson. It's pro deception and con deception with him because the Malcolm fight made him like he's 6'4", but he's only 6'1". It's because Malcolm is Malcolm is 5'9", and AJ Dobson is 6'1", so he is 4 inches taller than him. But it's just that Malcolm's vertically small for the weight class, and AJ Dobson was like 6'1". So 6'1" versus 5'9" made him like he's 6'4". Because you probably would assume Malcolm like 6 feet tall, but he's only 5'9". And then he come in here now, you see, you got this image that he's this big, tall force. But I mean, he got the power. It don't matter about no height or no size. But man, definitely got power. But if he was like 6'4", that would be a factor. He's got tall, he got some pretty fast, he got some power, and he evolved from his last fight. But also looking back further at some of his fights. Like he said in some tweets, or some interviews, he said I got sloppy in that fight. And you watch his other fights prior to this fight, he did get sloppy. But all that being said, even when you look at his best, or looking sharp or whatever he's training, he still don't look like no world class striker or no rateable striker. His power looks good. He definitely looks much cleaner than he did in his Contender Series fight. His Contender Series fight, he literally looked sloppy, he looked uncomfortable, he looked very nervous, he looked very jittery, he looked like he forced everything. But yeah, man definitely got power. But going there with a guy that has much higher level of experience in striking and pure kickboxing experience, and that's a hard task too. And Petrosyan did get stopped by knockout a real quick one time, but it was a case of him getting sloppy. It was a case of the guy just found some perfect shot. He decided to trade in the pocket, and that's what caused it. I don't feel like Dobson footwork is all that great. I don't feel like he cuts the cage off that well, and I don't feel like I said, I don't feel like he has the footwork or the IQ. I'm not saying he had low fight IQ, but I'm saying he don't have that striking experience, that same degree of striking. No knock on him. I just don't feel like he has this. And then I feel like you're going to play him in his realm. I feel like he could try to train some wrestling thing. And he probably was a decent wrestler at a lower level. He was no high level, world level. He was no NCAA level wrestler. He was probably a high school, junior college, and not even a junior college stud level wrestler. And you see these other guys that have much higher level grappling experience, and it wasn't no easy work for them against Armen Petrosyan. Petrosyan for probably over a year now has been training with Dagestani wrestlers. So he's been fine-tuning that area. I feel like Petrosyan, I feel like Dobson has success in the area, but I don't feel like he can have enough to win the fight for him. I feel like ultimately, if he's going to win the fight, it's going to come by, being to find that right shot. And I feel like it's potential there. That's why it's averaging no high or lock, even despite the fact that I feel like this fight's going to play into where Petrosyan is a specialist at. It's still in a lot because the man has power. He has shown the ability to make improvement. He's the younger fighter. He's 30. He can make adjustments. But I have not really seen adjustments to where the degree I would want to see them for me to lean towards him. So I definitely can see his threat. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like he can mix it together enough that he has anything more than a decent puncher's chance. And then you're going with a world-class striker and you're going to just strike with him. I got to lean to the world-class striker. And yeah, so especially since that loss, I feel like Petrosyan has been fighting smarter with his striking. He has been giving up as many openings to get caught with big shots. Been moving well. Greg Rodriguez was coming with fast hands, setting up some shots real nice, but Petrosyan stayed on his bike with throwing kicks, moving laterally, and just avoiding the big power from Gregory Rodriguez, and relatively didn't get hit with anything of power. And we look at a lot of fights, he really ain't getting hit with anything of power is a recent. In the past, he was more reckless, but I was getting knocked out I don't like that feeling. So I'm not saying he wasn't a technical fighter before, but he's definitely improved upon his defense and close up some gaps that gives his opponents opportunities. So I feel like Petrosyan's going to probably just fight smart, pick him apart, probably to decision. Try to avoid the big shots and just fight a smart, clean fight and beat Dobson to a decision. I think Dobson gonna make it interesting, but I feel like Petrosyan gonna stay defensive, stay smart, and try to stay on the outside and not really be 50-50 exchanges with a man that got that much power, and also having that height. He don't have the reach. He had like 71 versus 75, but I feel like he'll be the quicker man overall, or at least have the better timing and the better footwork, and put himself in better positions to land and control the pace and dictate the tone of the striking, and beat Dobson to a decision. So in this one, I got Armen Petrosyan via decision.